What's up? Welcome back. You clicked on another Gen V review. Hopefully you've been here for the other ones. If not, welcome. This is episode 3. I do them separately. I'm weird like that. I watch TV like an old person. We used to watch... We didn't used to have those confounded abilities to just immediately binge watch an entire series in a day. We used to have to wait on cliffhangers. So I enjoy that. For me, I enjoy that. So, it's on Amazon. It has audio description. So, hey. And I gotta give the narrator props. I give narrators props whenever they maintain. I don't know how many times. I want to ask some of these narrators how many times they have to record something when it's silly. When the words that are coming out of their mouth are silly. Like, right up at the start of episode 3, there's, like, a tentacle penis that is described. And I just wonder, did she nail that the first time? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like, even if I had read the script, once those words came out of my mouth and I went to record, I would have giggled. But that's just me. I giggle a lot during my own reviews anyway, so... I would have been like, a tentacle, what? Tentacle penis slaps against the wall. What? Especially if I'm like watching it at the same time. Like if I hadn't seen the episode and somebody just handed me a script and they're like, yes, this is the narration we need you to read. I'd have been like, okay, what is happening in this episode? Yeah, so that would have been, out of context, very shockingly hilarious to me. But the episode does move forward from there, and luckily it's not just all about dicks. Which is interesting, because Dicks the Musical is now in theaters. Anyway, back to Gen B. So, yeah, we've got sort of the main cast, and they're sort of exploring their various things, and this is Parents' Weekend already. Episode 3. Which means we know our main girl does not have parents, so nobody came to see her, but they keep using her as a prop to try to raise money for the school. She's the superhero of the future. You know, some people thought her blood powers would be weird. Apparently not. Apparently she's the new shining star. It's amazing how things can quickly turn for you in your favor. But Jordan is learning that their spot is not quite as accepted, and we get to see that in their own parents, who do not accept them for who they are, and keep consistently referring to them as a boy, which seems to annoy Jordan to no avail. I will say that the narration that I was given at the beginning of this, sort of with Jordan of this episode, Jordan was in bed presenting as a girl to a male companion, and I swear that the male companion, the way he was described, made him sound older. I thought she was in bed with like a grown adult who was going to end up being a teacher, but then it ended up being just like another classmate. And I think he was described as like a man with a beard. And when I was thinking about like a man, I was like, okay, well, I'm thinking man is their way of telling me, you know, I'm going to find out this is a teacher or something later on. But then when he spoke, it did not feel like, it felt like this person was on the same level as Jordan, just like another person in their classes. So, I don't know. I mean, I would have maybe put a little bit more description, especially if that's a character we're ever going to see again. They have a useful power set, I will say that. They did have useful powers that I feel like I would keep that person around if I was making my own X-Men version in this series. I'd be like, we need you. I definitely think we're going to need you. This is why the X-Men kept Shadowcat around. Please come back. Um, but yeah, Jordan gets to play with their parents and tell them how they feel, and even though Jordan keeps being introduced as a boy, eventually just, decides to morph into their female self. And they're like, hey, this is me too, by the way. And the mom seems a little bit more accepting than the dad is. The dad who's really like, you know what? No. Get out of my life. And Jordan then gets to drink the night away and seems to bond a little bit more with Murray. I don't think Jordan's that mad at Murray, actually, from the last episode. We don't get to explore that a lot here. And Kate also has an interesting story about why her parents aren't around anymore, and also has a bonding moment with Murray over her situation. So it's bonding time, guys. Meanwhile, Andre realizes that Emma shrinks and decides to use that to his ability in trying to rescue Sam from the woods, and asks Emma to shrink down so she can sneak into the facility and apparently put an air tag on Sam. I don't know. I don't understand. These guys aren't real heroes yet anyway, so they don't really think things through. But so he gives her, I guess, the VOD approved version. I don't know that Apple exists in this world, so it's some generic version of an AirTag to carry in and put with Sam. That doesn't go well because apparently nobody notices that Sam has a camera in his room. And so when Sam starts having lengthy conversations with Emma, they end up recording this whole conversation of Sam clearly talking to somebody. So the guards storm the room, and they don't find anything because Emma's like, I don't know, like the size of a beetle or something, probably, and can hide pretty easily. And then Emma uses her powers in a way that would answer the question as to how could Emma possibly be, an offensive superhero? Well, yeah, she took somebody out. So, very creative way. Very disgusting, but very creative. And now Little Cricket is a badass. And we get kind of left with that cliffhanger of, will Emma make it out? Or is Andre feeling the pressure of that? And Andre, meanwhile, his dad just does not want to have a conversation with him, and is like, leave it alone, stop doing that, leave it. I was like, you have to give him more than that. You can't just, everybody knows right by now that you can't just tell people not to do things, or your kids don't touch that. Like, we need to be told more than that. Like, why? You're just making it more interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're making it seem more nefarious or more, like, oh, there is something there. Oh, I wonder what it is. So, yeah, his dad just doesn't want to talk about it, and thinks that if he just keeps trying to steer Andre away from it, that'll somehow work, and it's not going to. It's like, I don't know if you've noticed your kid, but he didn't get to number one by playing by the rules. Nobody in this world gets to number one by playing by the rules. I mean, number one in the real world is Homelander. He certainly doesn't play by the rules. So, what I've determined by watching Gen V at 3 episodes in is that Kate can defeat Homelander. That is what I've decided, is that Kate Kate can be the one to defeat Homelander. And it's actually really easy because all she has to do is do her powers on Kate. Kate just has to do her powers on Homelander and knock him out. And then once Homelander is unconscious, since her powers work on other Supes, there's no reason to believe that it won't work on Homelander. So, I think her power is much greater. It's called pushing. That's what they use it in here. Is she's a pusher. I've heard that term used before, and I'm not sure if it was from the movie Push. It might be. Anyway, I'm still enjoying the hell out of this show. It's pretty great. They've managed to create characters I care about and like. Sam seems interesting if we get to know him more. Instead of the wild and crazy kid that we had for like 2 seconds who was panicked and freaking out. When he's calm and just and zen, it seems pretty chill. So, we'll see. But that's episode 3, and I'm gonna give Gen V an A. Every episode's gotten an A so far. I love the boys and I love Gen V. This is a spinoff that works. So I'm happy to have both. And I hope you are too. So I'll be back next week with a review of another episode of Gen V, and I hope you will be too. Until then, I'll see you guys on the other side.